Bird running dry on the tip of my tongue. I can taste your lies, how to measure the love you throw around. I could never hold you down. I never still have to say goodbye. Feeling you so close to make me try around. Everlasting love, so much to go around. You got me so.
What is going on? Welcome to another episode of the Dent Digest live show. Do you like that music, Eric? Alex? Shit, it's something different, right?
I was like,
something different.
Are you trying to set the mood? I got a piano.
Hey, I was trying to just be relevant with you. You know what I mean? How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good. I'm in my
How's
new
business?
shop. So,
Yeah, it looks great.
yeah. Dents pay the bills.
I did hear that you were going to quit Dents and just do the piano.
That wasn't supposed to be announced yet, but
I'm good at
is.
breaking the announcements. You know, I'm the guy that gets some tools in the mail, and the next week I'm talking about it, and they're like, "Shh, that's not even out yet." And I'm like, "You didn't say anything."
I do the same thing.
Yeah, we're dealing with pretty good snow, man. You know, it was funny. We've had snow just about all week, and they've already canceled schools for tomorrow, and that just totally changes business, right? Like,
yeah,
it just makes it slows everything down. People don't come through the door, you know, and you're just trying to figure it out. We have work anyway, so I have a ton of stuff just kind of sitting there working on some hail cars, some retail cars, some bad stuff that they're just dropping off. And, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with kind of slowing down a little bit. It's been absolutely crazy all year, and we're getting ready for MTE, so I don't want to jam myself pack full, before them. But I don't know how guys, and I had some customers this week that we had some mobile stuff set up, and it was 15 degrees.
Really?
And I'm like, yeah, we're if you have inside space, we'll still come. If not, then most of the time I know, but some of my shops just don't have the space, and they're like, yeah, we don't have the space. I'm like, well, we're not doing it. Like, I'm not going to sit outside in 15 degrees and try not to crack paint, because that's all you're worried about, right? You can use a torch. You can, when you get really below that 30, 31 degrees, you really start having some chances of cracking the paint. So
I don't know what that's like.
You know what's funny? And he's a guy that bought a Dr. Color chip set, Vincent's, and he it's so funny. Vincent Wildheight, he put a post on Facebook, and he was like, "It is so cold out here," and he's in Florida.
Yeah.
And I sent him a picture, and it was first thing in the morning. I think it was like 5 degrees outside, and I was like, "Nope, this is cold, bro. This is cold." So
I was talking to Michael earlier this week, and I think by 12 o'clock, he's like, "I'm going home. I can't. There's too much snow."
It's been snowing and snowing and snowing and ice. We had some serious ice on Monday. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, Jeff says it's 64 here. He's in Arizona, so
that's crazy. You guys are lucky,
right?
Then you're like, it's so hot. I love when Manny was on, and he would be like, "It is so hot here,"
and it was 90
and I'm like,
degrees.
"What is it? 87?" And I'm like, "Bro, it's 102 here."
Yeah, I'm over here like it's 117.
Mm-hmm. So I'm super. Go ahead.
It's a different type of hot. Like, I've been to Texas in the summer. It's hot with humid. I'd rather have my heat, but like people that aren't used to it, they feel like they can't breathe here.
It's different. Summer. It's dry. Yeah. It's just a different feel. Now,
yeah,
I'm really excited about MTE.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
We launched all the time slots for all the podcast row. So those guys got all that, and it went really easy. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I put the times together and I submitted it, and Saturday's less busy than Friday. But I know by Saturday everybody's done. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, you want to just
wanna
chill
hang
and,
out.
and enjoy yourself. So there'll be some different guys popping in, but you know, we got them all. I mean, I even got PDR College on, so that'll be really
That's
good.
awesome.
A lot of guys really liked them. They were the first ones to really be doing something. So that's super exciting.
Yeah. Keith and Shane are pretty cool dudes.
100%.
So
100%. I'm just excited to see everybody. You know, my buddy Adam Jones
what's up, Adam?
down there. You know, he lives in Florida now, and it's really fun to get to see everybody and network and spend time with people. You know,
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Going to be speaking at the Dr. Color Chip seminar, so that'll be fun with Tony.
Do you know what time that is?
I don't know, but I'll ask him. I don't remember what it is. I'll ask him when he comes on. You know, it should be a really, really good seminar.
What's up, Matt?
You know, tips and tricks and different ideas and how to generate revenue through your business. And but I'm excited. I'm ready to go. It looks like I've got some sneak peeks of some new tools. So I'll give me a couple things out. You know, it's gonna be really, really good. So one thing I am excited about is Jonathan's seminar there. Michael Grady and Barry. So
Barry.
That should be a really, really good one. That's going to be another one with a line out the door.
Yeah, I think that's at 1:00.
So, but I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Let's get down there and enjoy ourselves a little bit and see my dent buddies. And it's a lot, though. MTE is a lot to take in.
I've never been to the Florida one, so
you're not ready.
Yeah,
you're not ready. I've been trying to get you to come to this for how long?
I'm always in Mexico. Priorities.
You're right. You're right. Well, let's get our guest on and get started on this. This ought to be a pretty cool episode. You know, we talked last night with him and he threw some ideas around and I was like, yeah, let's go about it. So it's going to be a pretty cool behind the scenes talk and talk about the product a little bit. And I don't want to give all the tips and tricks away just because I want to keep some of that for MTE. And it's been a great product for me. I'm really happy that I went to his seminar at MTE last year and this is where we are now. You know what I mean? I get a lot of calls and a lot of questions and, you know, I was like, a couple of weeks ago, I was like, God damn, I feel like I work for Dr. Color Chip. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of guys calling and just asking questions, tips, or, you know, how are you doing this? Or how are you marketing it? Or, you know, it's just an easy upsell. I mean, it's faultless. So but let's get Tony on and get this thing going. What's up, Mr. Tony Pando?
Hello, Mr. Ryan. How are you, sir? Gentlemen, I appreciate the opportunity to be with you tonight. And I was sitting there backstage listening and very grateful that you guys said the kind things that you did. But I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to write these notes down. And I got to look up what time our meeting is. And you can put me backstage again because, you know, I got a lot more notes to write. But no, thanks. Thanks so much for the opportunity, guys. We really appreciate it. First and foremost, Ryan, you know, you have been such a great advocate and supporter. You have your own business and you do your own thing. But I know you added this on. And you are a shining example of what can happen when you bring, you know, this discipline on. You know, Alex and I were talking before we went live, and you know, at the end of the day, you know, the incremental revenue that you can make from this is really good, and it's not like PDR. I say this all the time.
No.
You know, PDR folks. You know, it's a learned thing, man. You can't just pick up PDR in a day. You know, it takes months, years, you know, a lifetime of always learning and going to the shows mobile tech is obviously great because there's always new things out there, like Ryan was saying, and so that's really cool. But it takes a long time to learn.
Yeah.
And for our stuff, it's all based on a do-it-yourself process, if you will. We sell over 10,000 kits a month to people that have no clue what they're doing, and we've been doing that for 20 years. So at the end of the day, Alex is probably naturally would be one of our biggest critics, only because of the experience he has and the perfectionist that I'm sure he is, coming from a body shop background, right? Alex is used to having it done, and it's you don't see it, you spray it, and so on and so forth. Does that make sense, Alex?
Oh yeah.
And this is not a perfect repair. I remember listening to Ryan on a recent podcast, and he was talking about Dr. Color Chip and how it's helped his business, and he said, look, it's not perfect, and as long as you set the right expectation with the customer, that this is not body shop in a bottle. What it is a very good repair that's very quick, and from a foot away, if you didn't know it was there, you would never know it's there. And that's what we want to try to tell people. And so a guy like Alex, who just knows perfection, makes me nervous, because I'm like, well, man, I just hope he's happy with it.
My dad's body shop, he ran for 31 or 32 years. Every time he finished a car, he'd make me go out with a horsehair brush and touch up the whole car for the customer. Like, it's definitely a good thing.
Well, it's an added value, right?
Yeah.
Like I remember sitting at MT last year, listening to you, Tony, and you were like, even if you do it for free, right? You go around, you do your detail, or you do your paintless dent repair, and you just go around and hit a couple. Just the free value in that is going to bring the customer back.
Oh, yeah.
Is this kit, there is, there is a little bit of a cost to the kit, but I'm going to be honest with you, how easy it is to upsell after you get fully comfortable in doing these repairs, and how fast and easy it is. Like you said before, it's not like a paintless dent repair. It's more, it's a little faster. The learning curve is much smaller. Do you know what I mean? Like it's so much easier to do an upsell. The upsell is almost ridiculously easy, right? Yeah. Because you're already in here either getting your car detailed or getting PPF or getting a ceramic coating. Hey, we can touch this up for $125 or $200 and we can touch it up. I even did, me personally, we did a Maserati that was stone rocked all over the front, and it was a black car, and we did the whole front, the hood, the fenders, the bumper, and it was $1,100. And he was happier than pigs and shit. So I think on detail world, in the paintless world, how easy it is to sell, it's almost a no-brainer.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I mean, the facts are pretty simple, right? And you guys tell me, I'll ask you a question. If you are working on 10 cars in your shop, or 10 different retail customers, or 10 cars at a dealership, and they're used cars, everyday type driving cars, how many of those cars have chips, deep scratches, door marks, or whatnot? Out of 10, let's just say 10. How many?
7.
Yeah. Most people say
7 at least.
Yeah, most people will say 8 or 9, but even 5 to 7, let's just say 7, right? Okay, so that's 70% of your customers could use this. That's 7 out of every 10 customers can use this. Now, the joke of it is 6 out of every one of those 7 people is either afraid to do it, doesn't know how to do it, or had a bad experience with a bottle of touch-up paint or a paint pen in the past, and they would much rather have you do it. Right? So you have opportunity, number one. And number two, you have conviction because you know how to do it. And if you set the right expectation, you're going to have a very happy customer. And like Ryan said, that's one of the things I say all the time is, first of all, I used to say, well, you start at $99, right? And this was 12 years ago. And what I've learned through time and having over 1,000 folks out there doing this now, is $99 is way too low. We provide you all the marketing materials, training materials, and all that. So you can create your own sales pitch, if you will, right? Whether you have a fixed site location, whether you're mobile, whether you have a website, and we provide you all the stuff for that. And what I've learned is most people will start at $139, $149, or they'll put it in their shop and they'll put a thing that says paint chip repair, $199. But to your point, Ryan, fixing 5 chips takes 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So you pat the guy or the lady on the shoulder and you say, you know what, Mr. Jones, tell you what, I see there's 5 or 6 chips here. I'll do it for $129. That customer loves you because you're giving them a good deal. Now, flip side of the coin, if you have a big job, say I don't know what a big job is to anybody. It could be $200 or $5,000. I don't know, but think of a big job in your head. And you see Mr. Jones or Mrs. Jones and you say, oh, you know what? I noticed you got about 6 or 7 stone chips here. I'll fix those for free.
Mhm.
That customer is going to love you, talk about you, come back for the rest of their lives. Because why? They're afraid to do it. They don't know how to do it, or they had a bad experience doing it in the past. So at the end of the day, it's easy to do. And it's something that at least 70% of your customers can benefit from.
And then some of it, you touched on it, is the setting expectations from the go, right? Like, you want to explain. I always kind of put it back on you as a company. And I say, well, Dr. Color Chip says it's a 4-foot repair. Like, I'm so positive with it that I would say 1 foot, you're going to look good,
Yeah,
and I think a lot of people, the bad part and how I explain it to the customer is, and I don't want to give everything away. I want to save some of it for the seminar, but you get the dealership touch-ups or the duplicolor touch-ups and just slopping it on the car. It always sits on the surface, right? It always looks like hell. And that's what I explained to the customer. I'm like, look, when you use those touch-ups, they sit on the surface. This stuff you're going to get just in the center of that chip, which is going to take your eye off of it. Because if you take a land of water and you put a big rock in the center of it, it's going to change the look of the land of the water. So it's the same concept as the touch-up is sitting on the surface instead of in it. So,
right.
But
no,
100. Good.
Oh no, go ahead. I was just agreeing. Yeah.
There is a little bit of a learning curve, that it's going to take a little bit for you to figure out. I always say to my guys, it's your style, right? You give us the basics and we get them in and we get it laid out, and some cars, some scratches. And I had one today that, I squeegeed and I squeegeed and I squeegeed and I wiped it out and I squeegeed and I wiped it out. And I ended up getting it with one of the dabbers that is included in the kit. And it laid out really, really nice.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Sometimes you have to experiment. I think I was talking to Andy Patrick and he was in here because he's got the kit and they're trying to work through, trying to get it to work the best for them. And a lot of it is identifying your damage.
Yeah. No, it's identifying the damage. And I couldn't agree with you more in terms of the process, right? Because the way that this was invented, it was, dab with your thumb and flick it across the chip and, let it dry and then do, the removal. And, I always say, here's a chip and, you get it over the chip. There you go. You get it over the chip and then you're going to remove it down. So how are you doing that? Well, long story short, like I said, we sell a lot of DIY kits every month. And our most popular kit's a squirt and squeegee kit because we now have a flex clear squeegee. And for the DIY folks, a lot of them love that. For me, I don't know, call me old school. I've been doing this, for 12 years now. I still like the thumb method because I think for novice people, it puts it on thicker. And to your point, there's a bit of a learning curve because the beginner, when you do it, the beginner, if they use the squeegee, they can run the risk of not putting the paint on thick enough and then they pull it out. And so I like to explain that to people that it's better to get it thicker when you're first learning how to do it. In time, as you develop your own process, you might use the squeegee. Dan, who founded the company, he loves the squeegee. We'll be at SEMA or NADA or Mobile Tech or wherever, and he sees me doing it and he just sits there and shakes his head because he's just like, man, you're taking too long. I mean, it takes an extra 30 seconds to remove it. It's not like a long time. But yeah, so everybody has their own methods of doing it. And so yeah, we're excited about mobile tech, and I couldn't agree more. I don't want to let too many cats out of the bag in terms of our spiel. I mean, I've got all kinds of little notes here for mobile tech, but I think what would be fun is let's do a quick field trip, and I'll wet your whistle with a couple of things for mobile tech. Now, our most popular system historically. And Ryan, this is what you have, is the 80 color system. But at Mobile Tech, we are coming out with several new systems. We've got different products in different systems, because we have found in doing this for a long time that, paint, chip, and scratch repair is wonderful. But if we can help you have more tools, you'll see all this stuff at Mobile Tech, but there's systems that are coming with different items in them, because talking with folks out there, maybe a blackout product, maybe this or that. There's a lot of different things that can come in systems to make you more well-rounded and make you more valuable. As you say, if you do PDR and you're doing it for retail customers or a dealership or wherever, it's great to have paint chip repair because it's an added value for incremental revenue. But if you can do something else that's very, very quick, we give those tools. So those are going to be some of the tools that are going to be in our systems at Mobile Tech. Adding a whole bunch of new colors, a bunch of 2024 colors. We've updated the colors in our systems. We did it a couple of years ago, but we just spent the last month and a half going through and adding, because there's a lot of those Nardo grays and different things like that, a lot of grays and silvers out there today. So added a lot of colors to our system. But this is a quick little tour of Dr. Color Chip. I don't know if you can all see that very well, but it's a little quiet here at night. But this is a little bit of our front office area.
Are those all the countries you service?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, one of our best folks is believe it or not, in Hong Kong. We do really, really well in Hong Kong. Yeah, Andy Wong does a really good job for us over in Hong Kong. And I told Ryan that I would do this, and I've got to do this. There's our boy right here. There's Ryan.
Jeez, look at that.
I know that guy.
Yeah, we
Why so serious, Ryan?
I know. Look at him.
It's my prison photo. See, the bar is already there. I mean, it's ready to go.
But Ryan is Mr. Lifetime Achievement at Mobile Tech last year, which was pretty awesome, and we value that. We value you, and we like to support as many different folks as we can, whether it's our folks with Rennie Doyle and the Detail Mafia. We're big supporters and friends with Rennie, and you'll be interested to see it at Mobile Tech. One of our new systems, Rennie was instrumental in actually helping design that system. Coming back here is just one of the little paint rooms here, and we got the night crew working tonight, but we worked double shifts because of the volume has gotten pretty big. Come on back here, and you got a room there. A lot of magic happens in this room here.
Wow,
that's cool.
Yeah, that's just kind of a really cool room. And then we're like you, Ryan. We're getting ready for Mobile Tech, and come on back here. This is how it works. This is getting ready here. We got all our stuff going for Mobile Tech, getting ready to get packed up and get out to that show. And something like this here, just to wet your whistle. There's a Rennie Doyle. His endorsed.
Is there any rock chips on that Mustang?
As a matter of fact, there is. I dropped a battery cable on the hood here, and it actually worked out great because I was hosting a South Florida Mustang Club event, and so I don't know, I was getting the car out and whatnot, and I dropped a battery cable. The chip is right here. I don't know if you can see it. But yeah, that it's actually worked out great because I show a lot of people when they come here to visit us
Yeah.
from wherever. I can say, yeah, this is kind of what it looks like on a classic car, and that
Looks
car
good.
does not have, it doesn't have a base coat clear coat. So you know when you have the older paints without a clear coat, you have to be more careful with the removal process, but it does work fine. And I did it on my car, my own car, so it's all good. But
Sold
yeah,
me.
that's a little taste of Dr. Color Chip there, and
That's cool.
you know, and you know, again, coming back to like whether it's PDR folks or detailers, you know, gosh, it's something that can be added on very easily, and you know, we're excited about it. We're excited, you know, Ryan. Whether it's you know one of the podcasts of yours that I've listened to, we get a lot of folks that, hey, I have the system, you know, love it, and so on and so forth. And I was just with a detail group a couple of weeks ago to Miami, and this guy posted something very kind on Facebook, and there was like 7 people, seriously, that you know replied to him saying, yeah, I'm a commercial user, I love my kit and stuff. So you know, we're super grateful for that. We feel we have a good product. More importantly, we have a good company. You know, the people that have been here, the average tenure of people, the length of time they've worked here is 12 to 15 years. And so the people have been here for a long time, and that says something. So, I mean, it's great to have a great product, but if you have just as good or better service, consistency, pricing, you know, all that type of stuff, that's what it's all about. And I think that's how you build a brand. You know, it's like RPS, you know, Ryan has a company, but I think he's also building a brand. And, you know, the brand will be more valuable than the service at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, my biggest dealership, I service a Toyota store. It's huge. They do like 400 used cars a month.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really big. And they were trying to get me to like go like sell retail there a lot. And you know, I couldn't really use my name. And then the service director was like, well, Alex is pretty much building a brand, so it won't work.
Right.
You know what I mean? So building a brand's where it's at.
No, 100%. I mean, if you think of Coca-Cola, you know, it's a fact that the Coca-Cola bottling plants, all the land or whatever they own means nothing relative to the value of the brand. And so, you know, that's one of the things we've been working consistently on. And, you know, we've gotten somewhere. I mean, we just picked up Lithia. If you've ever heard of Lithia Motors, you know, they've got 300 locations, man. I mean, that's pretty big. And
I know 2 of them are in Arizona. I know.
Yeah. We're filling them out right now. We just started in Iowa, and now we're moving down to Texas next week. There's 5 systems going to Lithia dealerships in Texas next week. So yeah, it's pretty good stuff there. And you know, Carvana. Well, you're in Arizona, you know, Carvana.
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
I was just on the phone with them last week, and that's already started because Carvana bought Odessa, and we do Odessa auto auctions. You might have heard of them.
Yeah,
you know,
they're in Arizona.
So I mean, yeah, oh yeah, they've got
Carvana owns Odessa.
They do now. Yep, that's kind of because of our relationship with Odessa that has now gone into Carvana, and you know, we're super grateful for that. But it comes down to same thing that you guys do. You know, your widget is just PDR and who you are, and our widget is just paint. So you have a widget. Once you have a widget, then it just transmorgifies, as Calvin and Hobbes would say back in the day, into a brand if we're consistent and we do a good job and we service folks and have gratitude and are consistent and honest, open-minded, and willing.
Yeah, Christopher commented. He's a dent guy, but he commented, every dent guy should have a touch-up kit, and it's so true because anytime the customer has touch-up and I do it for them, they're so grateful. I know they'd pay me. You know, it's they're so grateful that I do that because I don't know, they're scared to do it, scared to mess up their car.
Yeah,
themselves.
Right. They are.
You know?
They are. I mean, Ryan, how many do you do for free?
on a
Quite
big
a
ticket.
few. Quite a few. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
even like some of the PPF stuff that we do, we just do it because I'm like, I want the quality product at the end of the day. And then I tell them at the end, hey, you had some chips, we touched it up. It's on me, you know, because it's a $2,500 job or a $3,000
Mhm.
job. At the end of the
Mhm.
day, and it's so painless to do. You know what I mean? Like those
Yeah.
couple chips, you're done. You're moved on. You totally forget. You know, I was driving a car up to a body shop right up the street to get the paint code, then mix a half a pint of paint, you know what I mean? Or a quart, you know, because some of them you can only mix so much paint. And it got to a point to where, you know, they weren't charging me for the touch up because I have that relationship. But then when they needed a dent repair, I felt like I had to do it for free. So I was like, this is costing me money now. So
Mhm.
when I went to MT and I was like, this is my goal this year. And I sat in Tony's class and asked some questions and listened to the people there. And then I went to Tony's booth and sat there and really talked to him and watched him, you know, do his thing with the demonstration. I felt good. You know, when I got back from MT, I was like, you know, I sat on it for a month. So I did a ton of research, a ton of YouTube videos and reviews, and I think this is going to be the best thing. And I'll be honest with you, you know, with Tony, he'll answer every question, everything he can answer for you is very transparent, very easy to work with. And I was like, this is what I'm doing. You know,
Yep.
this is why I'm going all in, you know, and it's been great. You know, is
Yeah.
it, like I said before, is there a learning curve? Of course, there's a learning curve in anything. You know, I can't go pick up a thing and crochet a sweater. You know what I mean? I mean, it's you can't make the best steak if you've never cooked a steak before. So,
Right.
Yeah.
but the
Yeah.
learning curve is not like pushing dents or not like paint correcting a car or,
No.
you know, polishing a car. It's very minimal. And as
Any
soon as you
Yeah.
get in there and figure it out, it's
any
great.
any dent guy can do touch up.
And Dr. Color Chip has done what Tony just said, was build a brand, right? Like
Yeah.
my PCA customers that come in all the time, I'm like, oh, we're Dr. Color Chip. They're like, oh, yeah, no problem. Done. Like you don't even have to sell it to them because they already know what it is. Because Tony and his team of people have already done the legwork for you. So you don't have to go and be like, well, I got this system called Dr. Color Chip, and this is what it's done. You know, the people that know that, the BMW guys, the Porsche guys, they already know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the high end folks for sure. You know, obviously, you know, we've done some advertising over the years, but just as important is, you know, when I was saying a little while ago, you know, we had a Ford Mustang event. We host PCA events and BMW events, and you know, we have that stuff here for, you know, the South Florida groups, and you know, we've done PCA events in California and you know, all over the place, and you know, and with that said, you know, anybody that's using our product, and Ryan, if you ever want to do an event, you know, we would support you in that. And, you know, that's what it's all about, is this web that we're weaving. It's not just our web, it's our web. And, you know, that's why we're sitting here right now, you know, is we're helping each other. And we're very open. We're small enough of a company to, I'm a decision maker here. Dan, Joe, you know, we are decision makers, and we can help everybody. So we're always very open to new ideas and new things. We're, you know, mobile tech, bringing it back to that. You know, we're bringing several people to mobile tech this year. You're going to be pretty surprised when you see our booth. We've really evolved from, you know, back in the olden days, we had a what, couple of tables with tablecloths and a banner, right? Just for mobile tech. We've got a couple of new booths and a lot of good stuff happening. It's going to be, it's really exciting. And you guys are going to go, wow, when you see us at Mobile Tech this year. And, you know, not only are we got the new stuff with, in terms of colors and systems and all of that, but we've got, you know, new staff coming in, and you know, these are commercial users too. These aren't people, you know, they're paying their way to come down. They're not getting paid to be there. There's just commercial users that believe in us. We got one person coming from Canada, and so it's pretty cool. I mean, that's like awesome. And it's bigger than just selling product, man. It's a brand, it's relationships, and we're very grateful for Ryan. We are doing that class on Thursday at 9 a.m. And what are we calling it? It's called Tony Pando Ryan Shutt, Finish the Detail, Help with PPF and Ceramics, Incremental Profits. 90% of vehicles have stone chips, scratches, and door chips. Finish the detail. Add-on revenue and properly prep vehicles prior to PPF or ceramics. And it's all tied in together.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So we were talking about your squeegee method. What do you use the acetone to like remove the excess paint when you squeegee? Or what's
that's kind of the method to our madness. I like to call it the Coca-Cola formula, right? So and you bring up a good point, Alex. So our paint isn't like regular touch-up paint. Our paint, and it's evolved very much in the last 6 or 7 years. Because remember, we're now making the paint for Tesla. We're making the paint for SpaceX. We're making the paint for a lot of different people. We've had to evolve our formulas and how our paint is made. But we've also evolved the step 2 blending solution, which we call the Sealact. Those two products are chemically designed to work together. So the paint isn't just regular touch-up paint. It's made to chemically work with the step 2 blending solution. So when we were talking about that chip, okay, and you have a chip here, and then you fill it up with the paint, like Ryan was saying, and then the step 2 blending solution, it's almost like wet sanding, and it will level it down, and you can do 5 chips in 5 minutes and have a nice level repair. And it's really that easy. And remember, Ryan was saying it earlier, it does have to be easy, because remember, we sell over 10,000 kits a month to people that have no clue what they're doing. So you got to make it pretty user friendly. But yeah, so go ahead.
Did you do that like in layers, like do that 3 times? And if you needed
generally once will work if you know what you're doing. But yes, to your point, again, you have that chip and you layer it down, and look at my hand, and you took off a little too much. You can definitely come back and what we call build it up. Yes. So you can come back and build it up to make it nice and level. Like Ryan was saying with that scratch, right? So this is a chip. This is a scratch. Okay, these are scratch. Scratch is the same thing. You're going to fill it up, okay, and then you're going to go perpendicular to the scratch and level it down. If you go along the scratch, it's easier to pull the paint out. But if you go perpendicular and you use enough of the step 2 blending solution to not rub the paint off, you're not trying to use your muscles. You're letting the chemicals do the work together.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
And it's not a one-time go. So, with that, we call it the magic sauce, is what we call the Sealac, right?
It's the Coca-Cola formula.
Yeah, a lot of times what I'll do is take it and I'll go over it and level it and almost give it a couple seconds to do what it's supposed to do, and you'll feel it. If you get in there and you start really rubbing hard, let it do its work. It's kind of like glue. It's kind of like the Paintless Dent Repair glue. You put the glue on the panel and you pull it right off, it's still wet. It's still not cured. The same concept with the Sealac is let the chemical do what it needs to do. So when you go to level that, you're not really putting a lot of force, and it's keeping the paint in that scratch. You do get the scratches. Scratches are much harder than the chips, because most scratches go like this and then get deep and then come back up and get deep again. Sometimes you do have to build that up to get it to really level itself.
Oh, for sure. And I've integrated into when somebody gets a system, part of the 15 emails I send them, literally 15 emails. We now send three emails about scratches and different ways to do scratches and different scratch repair processes and whatnot. And then of course, I call it YouTube University. You can go on YouTube and, there's dozens, if not hundreds, of Dr. Color Chip videos, because everybody wants to be a YouTube star when it comes to detailing their car and whatnot. But yeah, you can build stuff up. Scratches are different than chips in that you want to go perpendicular to the scratch, and you don't you how do I say it? You will, like Ryan said, probably want to build it up, because the first time you do it, you will invariably pull paint out of part of the scratch. And so you come back and build it up. But again, it takes 5 minutes to do. So, it's pretty quick. And I mean, you can fix a scratch on somebody's car in 8 or 10 minutes, even if you screw up. And 8 or 10 minutes fixing a scratch, how much is the value of that to a customer? I mean, Alex, what would you guys charge to repaint a panel on a car that had a 4-inch scratch? I mean, how much would that cost at a body shop?
I mean, if they didn't blend it, it's
$600.
Yeah, $600.
Right.
And it would look great though if they didn't blend it. You have to have it blend, you know.
Right. So $600. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you've got a question here. What size system is needed for who? One-man show, multiple techs in a shop, etc. So he's asking, like, you have the couple different tiers of systems. What would you recommend for a one-man show or multiple techs in the shop?
Yeah, well, thank you. So we've got several different size systems. We've got an entry level, we've got a pro series, we've got a dealer designed, and then we've got a recon center, and then we've got another one that's going to a Rennie Doyle type thing. So I mean, there's a lot of different opportunities, and what basically the main difference is color libraries. And I like to use the analogy is, if you go into a town and you want to learn, you go to the library. And if you go to a library and that town has 4 books in the library, or you go to a library that has 100 books, where will you get smarter, right? So you do want to have a bigger color library if possible. And we were talking before, some of the interior repair people can work with fewer colors because they know how to blend colors very easily.
Mm-hmm.
The system that Ryan has is our most popular system. He bought that at Mobile Tech last year. It's an 80 color system. That's going to cover
130.
Oh, did you go up to that one?
Yeah.
Oh, you added.
Yeah.
That's right. You did add on. Yeah. Well, our most popular system is an 80 color system. That's going to cover 90% of the colors of cars you're going to see. So to answer that question, I would say the entry level system is fine to get in the game. But the middle range system is going to give you a much better color library and just really make you more efficient. Because you're going to spend a little bit more money up front for sure, but there's no franchise fees, no royalties or anything like that. Once you buy a system, you're now wearing our jersey. And once you have our jersey on, everything you buy from there on out is wholesale. So, 6 months from now, well, here we are right now. Ryan, it's been what, a year? You're happy we're on a podcast because it's been very good for you. You spend a little bit of money up front, but so whether it's one person or multiple people in a shop. Now, one of the things we will do as well is if you have, say Ryan has a shop and he decides to open another shop, or he decides to hire somebody to go on the road. Once he's bought that system, you have our jersey on, you're on our team. So therefore, the next system he buys, he pays wholesale. So, we have retail price, and then we have show special price. And then as a commercial user, and, going back 12 years ago, I didn't really anticipate this, but I mean, we're in January 19th. I think I could pull it up. I think I've already sold 7 additional systems this year. I mean, it's amazing how many people are buying additional systems for, techs or another location. And just as important, and this makes me feel really good, because we've been really focusing on this side of the business for about 12 years. So people that bought a system 7 years ago, Ryan's system will go bad. The paint in there will ultimately dry up. It'll last at least 3 years, at least, if not longer. Okay. But we have people now that have bought systems 5, 6, 7 years ago that are now coming back and buying a new system, right? Well, as a commercial user, you're on our team wearing our jersey. So the next time Ryan needs that system in 5 years from now or whatever it is, he's going to pay wholesale for that.
And that's the really cool thing. And I mention this all the time. How easy it is to order a color. So we'll get a guy in. Like I had a lime green R8 weird color, get his paint code. I take a picture of the car. I take a picture of the VIN plate. I send an email to orders at Dr. Color Chip with what would I need in my area. 2 days, I have it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's and
That
it's
goes
and
back
it's
to the service.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's at the wholesale pricing. And I build
Yeah.
that into the thing. If I'm ordering that paint, I charge the customer up front right away before I order the paint, just because if they don't show up or whatever. The cool thing with that is in those kits, I don't know if it's in all of them, Tony, but I know my kit had empty bottles.
Yep.
And
They
what I
all come
do
with
is
that.
I take a little bit of the paint and I put it in the empty bottle, give it to the customer as, hey,
Mhm.
we touch it up, we fix your problem. Here's a little bit of touch up. You don't give them a whole lot because you want them to come back. Most of the time,
Mhm.
the customer will come back because they're like, oh, I got the touch up from last time, and you're doing it anyway, right? So that's a
Yeah.
really, really awesome thing is how easy it is to order the additional colors if you need them.
Yeah.
Like in my 130 set, BMW, Porsche, Tesla colors have been absolutely dead on perfect match. Like the pure pewter silver colors for BMW, they look fantastic. The color match is just dead on. And there was a question in here about mixing sometimes, and we do. I had a red car today that went in, and the little mixing cups they give you, and you put a little red and a little black and a little silver, and you start mixing and dabbing if you have to. If you're doing it on the fly, if you can't order it, you don't need a scale, like he said, and it's really visual to mix the color. So
I remember talking to you a few months ago, and you called me and you were telling me about how you had to order a Porsche touch up, and I forgot. I thought it was like the green Porsche. It was a green one,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And it matched perfect. And I was like,
yeah,
that's hard to,
yeah. It was like
you
a
know,
drab green
that's
Porsche,
hard.
and I sent
Yeah.
him the picture and sent him the VIN and the code, and we got it. Now Mike and I looked back and we were like, God damn, I can't believe how good this thing matches.
Right.
So it's
That's awesome.
a really nice part of that is that
No.
now we have another question. Are they hard to match in the shop, or let them alone to brush touch? I really
Try
don't
let
do a
'em.
whole lot of brush touches. A lot of times we'll use the finger swipe in. Every now and then we have been using one of the new things in one of your new kits
Try
and been
layers.
really dabbling with it with the pen, that you put the
Mhm.
paint in the pen and kind of drag. We'll get into that at MTE.
Yeah.
Tri layers are tough. Pearls, I remember that in your seminar last year at MTE. Pearl whites are tough no matter if you get the OEM paint or if you get the paint mix at the body shop or even Dr. Color Chip. And if you want to get into that a little bit, Tony, you can.
Sure. Well, white pearl is probably one of the toughest colors in terms of it's a 3-stage paint, right? So when that vehicle is sprayed, it's 3 layers of paint. And if you have a stone chip or a scratch, you have this little tiny chip that stands out. But how are you going to put 3 layers of paint in that little chip? It's just physically impossible to do. And in terms of the pearlescence, we make the paint for Tesla. Uh, the Tesla Paint Touch-Up Kit is our product private labeled form, right? And so when we started that program, they were telling me, hey, we want it to be pearly. We want the pearlescence in it. And the challenge when you do that is that it made it way too thin, right? And so you would have to do just multiple layers. And for a do-it-yourself type person, it was just way too much. And we told them that. We said, look, for the last 18, 20 years, we know what we do with white pearl. We do not try to match the pearlescence of pearl. We match the shade of pearl. So in other words, for white pearl, we make 5 shades of white pearl because we just want to match the shade so that from a foot away, it blends in. That's all we're trying to do. Because on a little tiny chip, you're not going to see the pearlescence anyways, right? But if you have the proper shade on there, and remember I showed you all those new colors that we have. We used to only, in the commercial system, we used to only have 2. Now we have all 5 in our commercial systems. So it's pretty cool, but that's kind of how white pearl works. And then going back to one of the other things you were talking about, 2 things. One was, we make, you can order any color from us. So if we have the vehicle year, make, model, color code, color name, we make about 180,000 colors. So we can make any color. Thank you for the kind words on that green Porsche. But yeah, we can make it, and we guarantee the color match on a custom color, and we're pretty good at that. The other thing is, and this is just another way to skin the cat, is if a customer comes in, you have 130 colors, you're going to get a great color match, but you can also say, tell you what, Mr. Jones, especially if they have an ego or whatnot, you say, look, I can order the custom color for you, even though you have it in your system and you know it. 9 out of 10 people, especially with those high-end cars, are like, oh no, it's got to be Mercedes 040 black, even though straight black is straight black, right? But this guy's like, nope, it's got to be 040. You fix some chips, right? Fine. Tell you what, Mr. Jones, I'll order the custom color for you. It's going to cost you an extra $60. And then, plus my labor and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely. You got to do that. Well, fine. You just increased your ticket, right? The customer's happy. Everybody's happy. Done. So that's another little thing, arrow in your quiver, so to speak.
Yeah.
Do you guys make the Mazda Red? It's called Soul Red.
So yeah, it's in the system.
It's like it's a really hard color to match.
Yeah. We have pretty good reputation on that color. Yeah, Soul Red is gosh, BMW Kalahari Beige was a tough one. That some of these OEMs, and another tough one is BMW Alpine White, 300 Alpine White. The problem is those cars are made in so many different factories, right? And I don't care. Maybe the sprayer, the guy who sprays cars, maybe he was drunk the night before. Maybe he had the hiccups. Maybe he was spacing out. And that you get different shades, and so there's a color range. Even in an OEM color, BMW 300, there is a range in that color. So what we will do is we will listen to our customers, our retail customers, and we will hone in where we need to be in a range of color, and then that's the color that it will be moving forward. For example, right now, Tesla just came out with the Ultra Red, right? So when we were testing Ultra Red, PRO1, we were testing the Ultra Red, long story short, before I even introduced it to anybody, before I even talked to Tesla about it, we had retail customers reaching out to us. So I was sending out no charge kits. I sent out probably at least 4 of them to people saying, look, we want to test this color with you from Dr. Color Chip, blah, 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 blah. And we honed it in, and now it's in the game 100%. And so there's a new color coming out with them. It's called Stealth Gray.
How would you make the chalk white in Porsche? Are you familiar with that one?
We make it by code. All we need is the paint color code. If you give me the code, the code is the formula.
A crazy
I have
thing.
it. Yeah, it lays really good. Like color match wise, we did one. We did that, and then they have the Redline Edition GT3 RS that is looks like a Nardo gray, but it's not a Nardo gray.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another one that I got from them that turned out really, really well.
Wow.
Color match wise. Their European stuff is amazing. The color match on the Europeans by far exceed my expectations.
That's sometimes you can't even get like Porsche Touchup from the dealer. You can't. A lot of times you can't get it.
We make it. And Nardo Gray is another new color that's in the system.
Wow.
And somebody, I see a question here. It is a solvent-based product. It is not water-based. Thank God. Water-based touch-up paints, from what I hear, not the best. But yeah, we're solvent-based.
Now, Josh is asking, are you mixing the colors yourself? I don't know if that's to me or to you guys. It looked, you guys have a full mixing.
Yeah.
Mixing station.
Well,
yeah,
we make every color here. So we make the colors, But maybe what he might be meaning is, does he have to mix the colors himself? No, it is a
No.
match by eye system.
Yeah.
That's why you have a color range or a color library. Because quite frankly, I don't care if it's a Mercedes 040 black or a GM 8555 black.
Mhm.
Black is black. It's your eyes that matter.
Yes.
That's what matters when you're looking at the cars. And that's why you want to have more books in the library, right? You want to have a bigger color library, because at that point you're gonna it's quick and you don't have to blend the colors together or anything like that. So it's a very quick and efficient system that you do not have to make color.
I'm trying to see what kit I have here, so bear with me for 1 minute.
So Christopher is asking, how do you deal with the variants?
Well, that's the point, is it's a color range, a color library. So for example, let's get over here. And so like
one of the greens that we did.
if you're looking here, you can see, well, here's an existing 80 color system. See the ranges of colors? Is that showing up, guys?
Yeah.
Yep.
So see for like the silvers getting into the grays.
Go a little slower.
Okay, got it.
Here's even another. You won't see it because we're all on him, but
that's like this. That's just silvers. You can see there's, I don't know, 15 or 20 silvers in that going into the grays. So that's the variance. That's how you would handle the variance, because those are all OEM colors. They're all OEM colors, but there's a range of colors in there.
And if I buy a kit and I don't have the right variant of that silver, I could just call you and get it at wholesale pricing.
yes,
Correct. Or you can blend it together. You can blend it together, or you can call and order it and charge the customer for it. Either way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's like I said, the ordering process is painless. I mean, you literally send them the information, and they literally, I get it in 2 days here in Maryland. So,
because I could, if I don't want to carry it in my truck, I can leave it at my house. And if I know I'm going to do a Porsche Cayenne, and on Monday morning, I could take all those colors with me.
Well,
Order it.
A whole system is just 2 little toolboxes. It'll fit in the trunk of a car, in the back seat, and it's solvent based, so it's not going to freeze. You're in Arizona, so you shouldn't have that issue too much, but it's a solvent based product, won't freeze. You can just put the kit in your truck, away you go. It's it's 2 little toolboxes. So they're the Craftsman VersaStack system. They just snap together.
Nice.
Now, Rick is asking, is there show pricing? Is there show pricing?
We will have we'll have some good show pricing at MTE for anybody that goes to MTE. That pricing will be available at MTE only. But yeah, we will have some good show pricing.
Now, once something is touched up in this matter, will it affect the conventional repair in a body shop further down the road?
No.
Mm-mm.
No, not at all. This is a permanent repair. We've been vetted by, like I've told you, all these people we do business with, for 23 years. I mean, SpaceX, Tesla, AutoNation, Lithia, they wouldn't be doing business with us if our product wasn't vetted properly. And it's been tested, and we've got a bunch of different tests, 3 different test companies we've worked with. We've had to evolve our product and our process. Long story short, it's kind of like NASA. When in the 1960s, when they were going to the moon, they came up with all these things. They had to evolve everything. That's how they came out with not AstroTurf, Velcro. Velcro.
Yep.
These byproducts happen, and so we've had to evolve a lot in the last 5 years, especially our paint, our product, our process, how quick it dries, how easy it is to remove, and all these byproducts of all this work we've done. That's why we're sitting here right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is the intro? Can we ask how much the intro kit is? Like, what ballpark?
They started a couple grand and go up from there. And for anybody that's coming to MTE, I highly recommend you go to MTE anyways. You have a chance to see Ryan in person, but
Come on.
That aside, I got a picture of you in our boardroom. But that aside, MTE is going to be a great show this year. We're really excited about it, and we've got we'll have some really good show specials there on all the new stuff we've come out with the new colors, the new kits, and all that type of stuff. So yeah, it'll all be there.
Wow.
And I think,
And if you're not there, Alex, it's okay. We'll take care of you.
I'm going.
oh,
I'll
he's
be
coming.
there.
He's
You
coming.
are going?
I'll be
Oh,
there,
I
yeah.
thought you were saying
This is my
I thought you were
first
saying
year.
earlier.
Yeah, this is my first year I'm going. I usually go.
that's
I've gone to the Vegas one. There's a Vegas show, and
I went
just
to that
drive
one,
over
yeah.
there for 4 hours.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they're not
but
doing that
I'm
one
waiting
anymore.
for it.
Yeah, did you go to the PDR show in Vegas last fall?
I did not. I
The
didn't go
World
to that.
Cup.
Yeah.
It
They're
was
doing
in. It wasn't on the strip. It was in the old strip.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah,
like Fairmont Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not go to that one.
Cool.
Did you?
Well,
Were you there?
I went. I didn't go to the PDR one because I had a conflict, but we did. We were a sponsor of that one. But the Mobile Tech Show, I went to every one that was in Vegas, but they're not doing that one anymore.
Yeah.
They now are doing the PDR Expo. So Convex, who owns Mobile Tech, they discontinued Mobile Tech in Vegas, but they now have the PDR. I think it's called PDR Expo or something like that. We'll probably go to that this year. I just couldn't go last year. I had a conflict, but yeah, absolutely. Those folks put on great shows, and as Ryan said, maybe on this call or before, that there's going to be a lot of people there. This show's pretty booked up, right, Ryan?
Yeah, the amount of people that Kevin Bird said that people have already signed up it's going to be the biggest one they've ever had. So I think it's going to be, I mean, there's more vendors this year. There's obviously, there were even more education days that people wanted to do companies wise or products that they couldn't do because everything filled up.
Wow.
I have quite a few friends in the business that have booths there that this is their first year, because I'm like, you guys need to do this. You need to get into this. So I think it's going to be an epic event.
How many vendors are there? Do you know? Have you looked at the?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's a lot.
Oh, like 100?
Probably
more than
close.
that.
Yeah.
More than 100? That's crazy.
10.
Because Vegas is not even close to.
There's at least 100. Yeah,
Vegas is a portion.
Yeah. So this is way bigger.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, it's not SEMA by any means, but it's a great show for what it is. I mean, this is historically been one of our best shows, during the year, and we go to some big ones. We go to some big shows, but this is a little but powerful show. It's like stick of dynamite. And we've been very fortunate. We've gotten a lot of recognition there for many years. Lifetime achievement stuff, person of the year. Paint person of the year, blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff. So
you guys usually have a booth at SEMA?
Yes, sir. Yep, we do. Yeah, we do SEMA's, and SEMA this year is going to be a big booth. It's going to be really cool. We're going all out at SEMA this year, so we're excited about that. That's a ways off, but more importantly, right now is Mobile Tech, and PDR Olympics are fun. I love watching that stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And you guys last year had a tough booth because you were by Stanliner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
right across from
people
them.
there.
Yeah. I'll be there. I'll be at Stanliner too.
Yeah, that company rocks, man. That's like their holy grail. It looks like they were jamming. It was cool. So I got a few byproducts from that. Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, those guys do a great job at that show.
They're like the Dr. Color chip of the PDR world.
Oh, are they? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm not that smart on them specifically, but yeah, they were jamming. Let's see.
He's
full
saying
show.
he needs a full show in Vegas. I said, Jeff, the problem with that is the last one nobody went. You know what I mean? It was the West Coast guys just didn't support it, and I get it. MT is one of those things that I feel like I like going every year. I get to network with people and see my friends, and see everybody I haven't seen in a while, but some guys don't care that much about that and go every couple years. So
I think there's too much hail going on.
Oh, it's crazy
that
year.
time,
It's a crazy year.
So.
But Tony,
Is that in the fall, Alex? Is that in the fall? The
What,
hail?
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
been,
When's
it's
the
still
when's the
hailing.
biggest?
Like
Yeah.
when is it, Ryan? August,
Starts in like April
April.
and then moves on from there, but it hasn't stopped. I mean, it just hailed a week ago. So I mean, it's been
Right.
one
It
of
hails
those
like
years.
sometimes it hails in December in Arizona, and it's not. It doesn't usually hail in December.
Yeah,
Right. Okay. Cool.
it's been a very weird global warming year, so it's been very different.
Right.
I hear
But
you. Well, it's all good, guys.
Tony, I appreciate you coming on. I'm excited to speak with you at your seminar. I think it's going to be really good. Some tips and tricks and some
Mhm.
different inputs. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. This is great, and we really appreciate you having us on prior to, and we appreciate your support and the good things you say, and the advocacy that you have for us. You really are a maven for our brand, and we're very grateful. Look forward to supporting you moving forward, Alex. If I can, help you in any way, if you want me to send you a couple sample kits, to try out,
I'll
you're
be
more than
buying
welcome to do
I'll be getting the jersey. I'll be
that.
getting the jersey.
We're all going to have that jersey. That's great. Well, I appreciate it, guys, and look forward to seeing you all in a couple of weeks. And in the meantime, if anybody has any questions, reach out to me or Ryan, and we'll get them answered for you. And if I don't know the answer, I'll find the answer.
Tony,
That's
you have a
awesome. Thank
fantastic
you.
night, and I will see you in 2 weeks.
Cheers, guys.
See
Thanks
you
for
guys.
everything.
See you,
Huh?
buddy. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
It was a good one. That was
Yeah,
another good one, man.
Awesome
there's
guy.
and it's funny because I got some calls and guys are like, "Hey, what's your involvement with this? What's your real involvement with this?" And I'm very transparent. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't make commission on this. I don't make anything off this. I just believe in the product. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's definitely no sponsors to this show.
And I paid for it. You know what I mean? I didn't
Yeah.
get this for free.
You told me what you paid.
Yeah.
I think it's worth every penny. So
100%. And you know what else it is for me? It's that peace of mind, right?
yeah.
It's that knowing that if something does bad go happen
Mhm.
and I need to touch it up, okay, you've got a vehicle and you crack the paint and you're like,
You got
oh
it.
shit, can't tell me it doesn't happen. You guys can't
Yep.
tell me it doesn't happen, because it happens. It's there. I don't have to stress that I don't have it. And it is easy. I know some of the guys that have reached
I've-
out said, man, I'm struggling with this a little bit. And I'm like, take your time,
Yep.
work through your problems. Same thing with glue, or same thing with pushing a dent. It does. The learning curve is a little bit there, but it's not a huge learning curve. It's not going to take you 3 years to figure it out. You're
Mhm.
you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Have you ever
It's a-
cracked the paint when you're using glue? Like not pulled paint, but like
Oh yeah,
it cracked,
fracture it.
like-
Yeah,
yeah, like you it just happens. So it's a
Yeah.
good thing to have. 100%.
it's that peace of mind, and it's an
Yeah.
easy sell. The car comes in, it's got a nasty whack, and I mean, you've seen it. We've all seen it. You're looking at it, and it's got a big white mark, and you're like, "There's paint missing right there."
Yep.
I'll buff this white off, and you're gonna have a paint chip, and they're like all upset. And I'm like, well, we can touch it up here. For another, say the repair was $250, I'll touch it up for another $7,500, and it takes you 2.5 minutes to do.
Yep.
And I just had one, and we had this conversation on a couple shows ago. Chrysler Gray. It was a new Grand Wagoneer. And I went, and Josh Story looks at me and he's like, "You gonna start that with glue?" And I was like, "Probably not." He's like, "You probably should. It'll probably be really clean."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Okay." And I stick the tab in there. I'm like, pow. And it like literally just took the paint off of it. Right. Chrysler Gunmetal Gray. Customers there. It's a brand new car, and I'm freaking out. I have a waiver that I have the customer sign whenever we glue
Yeah.
pull. But I was so upset, right? This really, like, it doesn't happen. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And he was one of those customers like asking about the glue pulling waiver. Like he was a little like, whoa, could this really happen or whatever? And he was very scared in it. And I was like, oh, usually, it's a new car. Usually it's pretty good. Now it's the Chrysler Gray. I'm like, oh yeah, the paint's probably coming off. You know what I mean?
90%.
So,
90%.
So, but the touch-up kit, man, I was able to touch it up really good and leave. And he's like, oh, that's not so bad. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. So, and it's funny, my buddy Larry's in here, and he was there when the paint came off. As soon as I did it, Mikey was working in the corner, and I just pow, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And Mikey looks over, and he's like, "That doesn't sound good." I'm like, "It's not good."
Dude, a kid what high-end dealer I do, is a kid that works there. His dad brought in his Wagoneer to like get debadged on the hatch or something,
Mhm.
and my buddy was using one of those eraser wheels and it burnt the paint
Yeah.
in seconds. Like I've never
Brothers.
seen that. It's
There's
something
no
about
paint on them,
the primer or I don't know.
and
what
it was
they're
to the
doing.
metal, like the e-coat and everything came with this thing.
Yeah, it's not good.
So,
Yeah, I don't have a Chrysler. Do you?
I'll never own a Chrysler.
No, I've never.
Same thing
Don't-
with
don't
Ford
own a
F-150.
Chrysler.
I'll never own an F-150. I'm sorry, guys. I hate working on them.
F-150.
Every minute I get in that truck, if I owned one, it would just be like, I hate this truck. I
Yeah.
hate working on them so bad.
I do like the Super Duties.
They're great looking trucks, but the
Yeah.
aluminum, man, I get so
They-
many of them because Glen Burnie is like a truck town, man. Everything I have is a full size pickup truck or a dually or
You're telling me you saw a dually flipped over on its side from the ice?
yeah. I mean,
It's
that's all
crazy.
we have there. So it's a crazy truck town. So
Yeah.
but I'm excited about MT. I think it'll be really good working with Tony in the seminar, and I think it'll be informative and little tricks and tips that I brought up and some stuff that I think they could even add to their system that has worked really well for me.
Yeah.
But
So it's
if you're a dent guy and you're on the fence, it's worth it, dude.
yeah, just do it.
I mean,
I'm doing
it's worth it. I mean, Mike Gladwell was in here and he bought it and he's really liking it. Andy's getting his guy and he's trying to really hone their skills down.
Did
And a
Andy
lot of
just
it's
buy it?
expectation. He did.
He did. Nice.
Yeah. So,
I think
You'll
if
get
you have
it.
a shop, it's no brainer.
100%.
If you have a shop,
And-
no brainer.
And there is a little bit of maintenance, right?
Yeah.
I have my guys shake that paint once a month. Go in there and just
Mhm.
shake every bottle, go through the whole thing.
Yeah, so it
and
doesn't dry up.
Just to kind of keep it. It does separate and it does you can see that you need to shake it really good.
Yep.
But it takes 10 minutes with 130. I don't know how many. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I don't know how many paints I have now. I'm probably in the range of like probably 180
From
or
ordering more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cool
That's-
thing is you can buy
How,
these boxes. You can either buy the Dr. Color chip or they'll even tell you to go to Lowe's and buy this. It's just a Craftsman stackable system. You can buy this box and then you can buy the foams directly from Dr. Color chip that are already cut
Wow.
out. So you can build your own system as you go. You don't have to, go in
that's
and
awesome.
so
When you order a paint, how fast is it? It will overnight,
2 days.
2 days?
2 days. Takes 2 days.
Okay. So me, it'd probably be like 3.
Probably.
Jump farther.
But it
So,
comes, I mean, it's well packaged.
Right
It
away.
comes in, and Mikey was in here and commented that, that the R8 that we did, the green, it was dead on. And one thing I like about the paint is, there are times to where you'll have a chip and it's really white, right?
yeah.
And you'll put touch-up on there and it looks light. Well, it's light because the base is so white,
Mhm.
Sometimes I'll go in and I'll take a little bit of a darker. So perfect example, I had a red today
Yeah.
and it was all the way down to the middle. His kayak came off the roof and just smashed his trunk and it was like a perfect U.
Oh, no.
So, I took a little darker red and went inside there really lightly and leveled it. And then came back with the actual red, and it really helped because that base is so light. It's going to
Wow.
make your red look lighter. So it's been great. It was a great addition for
That's-
2023.
Yeah, that's awesome. He gets it out to you fast because, like, the guy that works for me, he broke his dent light and I was going to order it from Anson or A1, and we did A1, and it shipped like within an hour, 2 hours. It was already, we got email saying it shipped. I was like, you know, that's big for us, like on the roll, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's,
So,
and you just, you know, I mean, you're scheduling cars out. It's timeless.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I mean, 2 days, whatever,
Yeah.
you know, they're usually coming in the next week. And to be honest with you, a lot of the colors, like I said, the BMWs and the Porsches are in the kit. So if it's
Yeah.
something really weird, I'll even walk out there with the kit when the customer's there for the estimate, if they're scheduling, and I'll look up the paint. And, you know, the good thing is the bottles are clear, so you don't even have to open it. And look at it.
Mhm.
You know, another thing that I do is I put a rubber glove on, and it's a perfect example of the red that I had today. And I'm literally just dabbing the lid. I'll take the lid off and I'll dab it, and I'll put my finger on the paint and keep testing different colors. You know, it'll be like 4 reds touched, because looking at the bottle and looking at the paint, it's a little tough. And as easy as that Seal-X solution takes the paint off, I don't stress. Like, it's on there. Okay. You know, you have
You can just
3.
wipe it off.
Yeah. You have 3 red fingerprints on there. And then you're like, oh, number 3 works. Okay. That's going to be the color. And then you just come back and wipe it
Wow.
off. I'll do that a lot. I'll
worth
touch
it.
the car.
That's worth it right there, because you're like, you go to the dealer and just buy, you only get one red.
And it's
That's it.
terrible to come off,
Yeah.
right?
And
Like,
the brush is horrible.
Yes. And they give you, you know, in that commercial set, like the 130 comes with the dabbers and the little tiny little mini brushes, or that little paint pen thing we've been using lately that has been working pretty well.
The one where you put it on the top.
Yeah.
And it like drops
That's
in.
It's in the Doyle set. So
yeah, that's a good one.
It's been working pretty well. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see some of their new products, because some of them I don't even know. So some of them they've been kind of keeping hush hush. So I'm excited to see that. And I think MT is going to be fun.
Is Blem gonna be there?
They are.
They are. Nice.
Yep.
I'm excited about that.
I haven't talked to Mark. I feel bad. So I was talking to Kevin Bird. He's like, yeah, I got to get a hold of Mark and da-da-da. And I was like, I didn't even know they were going. I haven't talked to him. And he's like, really? He's like, is everything okay? I'm like, everything's fine. I just don't get time to call people during the day. Right? Like, we're just busy, dude. I'm in it. Like, I'm in the trenches. I'm not sitting here just orchestrating. We're in the grind. So, but I'm excited, man. Next week we're going to do a overview of MTE, and then next live show will be at MTE.
Be fun.
So, Alex, you have a great night.
You too, man. Thanks for
everybody. Have a fantastic night. Thanks for watching. Go play your piano. All right.
Stay on. I'll play for you after.
Guys, keep it real. We'll see you next week. And hopefully we win that Golden Mike Award. That would be really nice.
I don't know if I will, but
I don't know, man. The Ginger Bros may take it for a second year in a row.
That's what John was saying. That they can't win it every year.
They may.
You know?
They may just take it, but you know, it'd be really cool to win it. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. If you do win, we'll have to FaceTime Manny.
100%.
And
is
Manny going or no?
Manny is not going.
He's not going.
Okay. He is not going. So
we'll FaceTime him.
We definitely will. So
I'll tell him I'll trade him the trophy for the podcast for his Dent Trials one.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Right?
It's a good idea, since he beat your ass on the last one.
Right. He played
Alex,
me.
Have a great night. You guys keep it real, and we will see you next week. See you guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.